Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.
Good morning, everyone. Good to have you with us today. The International Women's Air and Space Museum features historic memorabilia and artifacts of women in the aviation industry. And this summer, there is an aviation camp for mothers and daughters right here in Northeast Ohio. Executive Director Susie Dills and Camp Director Barbara Williams are here to tell us more about this museum housed at Burke Lakefront Airport and explain how to participate in the summer camp as well. Then later on, we will hear from the Executive Director of Miracle Spiritual Retreat, Delilah Bell Fowler, and actor William Clarence Marshall, who will talk about two events hosted at the East Cleveland Public Library. Theater is coming on. And later in the broadcast, Yvette Clark of the Urban League of Greater Cleveland will talk about a new workforce development program for young people. Good morning, everyone. I'm Leon Bibb. Good to have you with us today for a very good broadcast, but don't we always have a good broadcast? Beginning right now with Barbara Williams, who's camp director of the International Women's Air and Space Museum. She's sitting on your left, and Susie Dills, who's executive director of the International Women's Air and Space Museum, located at Burke Lakefront Airport. Good to have you both with us, ladies. Susie, let's begin with you. Tell me about the mission of the International Women's Air and Space Museum, which is located right inside Burke Lakefront Airport.
Yes, exactly. The mission of the museum, we're dedicated to preserving the history of women in aviation and aerospace, and that would be all fields of aviation and aerospace, from the air traffic controllers to pilots to astronauts to engineers. Very expansive. We start off with early aviation days all the way to the present time.
When you talk about air traffic controllers, you certainly got to mention Barbara Williams, air traffic controller. Good to have you with us as well, Barbara.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about your role in this. You're hosting a camp now that's tied to the museum itself.
Correct. I'm a part of the Education Brain Trust as well as a trustee of the museum. And in 2006, we started this camp in memory of Nikki Kukwa, a student at Kent State University who was very, very instrumental in resurrecting the aviation program at Kent. And she passed away in 2006 from leukemia. And her parents, as well as Kent State and the museum, wanted to do something to continue her legacy. And so we started the camp, which is a camp hosted at Kent State University for girls and their moms or other surrogates who come with them so they can experience what's going on in the world of aviation.
And they learn all about some of the history of women in aviation, and I would imagine men in aviation as well.
Yes.
The whole aviation industry.
The whole gamut.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's going to be at Kent State University. My notes tell me July 18th, 19th, and 20th.
Correct.
Yeah. How can people get involved in this camp now, and what's it cost and all of that?
Well, the camp, we are full at this point, and so unless we would have cancellations or something for this year, we wouldn't be able to host anyone else, but they can contact us to go on our list because the camp is free. There is no charge for this camp, and we open with a dinner on Thursday. We take the youth and their parents out to Cleveland Hopkins Airport as well as Parker Hannafin, and then they spend Saturday flying out of Kent State Airport in airplanes.
Susie, this is all vital to what you're trying to do, is raise the consciousness of the role, certainly, that women have played. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, exactly, because with the stories for those phenomenal women we have at the museum, we use those stories as inspiration for young people today to pursue careers, get excited about careers in aviation and aerospace, and want to pursue those careers. And for young women who are a low percentage in those non-traditional careers, it's great to get them out and just talk about the women that have just made historical achievements and, you know, the excitement generated from that.
Not only as pilots like Bessie Johnson and Amelia Earhart, not only as astronauts like Sally Ride and Resnick, who was on one of the ill-fated shuttle missions, but people like Barbara Williams herself, who's an air traffic controller out at Oberlin for years.
Right, right. And we also have another event that we hold once a year for junior high and high school girls, which women like Barbara and other women presently in aviation and aerospace career fields, mentors, come to the museum and interact with girls grades 6 through 12 and tell them about, their careers, what they do, how they got started, and just being able to meet them and being inspired by them is phenomenal.
And you've got a big setup there at Burke Lakefront Airport, located right on North Marginal Road at East 9th Street, Burke, the downtown airport in Cleveland. You've got a wonderful display there showing the history of women in space and aviation.
Yes, we have an extensive collection of artifacts and biographies of around 6,000 women that have made history. And currently we have exhibits such as Amelia Earhart, Bessie Coleman, Catherine Wright, who is very inspirational in the success of her two brothers, women Air Force service pilots in World War II, the Mercury 13 ladies, all the way up through the space program.
Barbara Williams, you're the camp director. You're going to have your program out there July 18th, 19th, and 20th at Kent State. You said you're already filled up, but next year you do this every year.
Every year, and we're here today to encourage people to call the museum and find out more information so we can start putting together a list of candidates for next year's camp, because we want to continue this and expose as many young people in Northeast Ohio as we can. And to let you know how our camp has grown, we have a young lady that'll be coming this year from Wisconsin, and that's phenomenal for us. Once we had someone come in from Pittsburgh. So as people hear about this camp, they call and they're interested, and we do have a deadline that we have to set, you know, for applicants. So we're encouraging people to start now, and we want to get out to the schools, churches, other organizations to talk about this and let them know that we're here and we'd love to have them.
And in our final 15 seconds, you had a wonderful career as an air traffic controller out at Oberlin.
I certainly did.
Bringing those airplanes into Hopkins and all around this area. As an air traffic controller, you were handling flights throughout this region of the world, right?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Well, good to have you on the broadcast.
Okay.
Barbara Williams.
Thank you for having me.
We'll put a phone number on the screen as you see, 623-1111 in the 216 area code. You can get more information. There's a website there as well, iwasm.org, More information on everything we're talking about. Good to have you on the broadcast, ladies. We have taken flight already. Okay. I'm going to be back in just a moment. We're going to hear about a special program at the East Cleveland Public Library. It involves theater after this. Welcome back to the broadcast today, Kaleidoscope. The East Cleveland Public Library is going to host two major events this summer and early fall. The Executive Director of Miracle Spiritual Retreat, Delilah Bell Fowler, is here to share information about her organization and her event, which is taking place on September the 7th. And actor William Clarence Marshall will talk about his production, Colored Boy Blues, taking place on August 17th and September the 21st. We'll hear about the production of The Gift, taking place on June the 29th and 30th at Playhouse Square. Good to have you with us. That's a lot of information, but we're going to all boil it right down. Good to have you with us, Delilah. Let's begin with you. What is the Miracle Spiritual Retreat?
Miracle Spiritual Retreat is a retreat that was started for people in recovery to help them along their journey of their path of staying in recovery and helping them to strengthen their relationship with God. And so we have it twice a year. We have had at least 1,300 people who have come through our program, and we started in 1995. We also have a retreat for youth that has come through our program, and it has been a wonderful gift for us and for the people in the community. It is helping them to strengthen their relationship with God and has kept them on the path of recovery. And for each person who has come through our doors, I believe that 10 people's lives have been changed. You know what I mean?
You just mentioned the word that you've been a wonderful gift to your organization. You've got a production called The Gift, which is taking place. Tell me about this production, because I know you're here to plug that production.
Yes, The Gift is going to be at Playhouse Square June 29th and 30th, and it is written and directed by one of our miracles, Michael Fisher. And I'm excited about it because it's about a lady, a young lady or an older lady dropped off at a nursing home who is reluctantly put there by her son, but she is bringing a gift to the people in the nursing home, and it's allowing each person to find themselves and maybe identify with some of the things that have happened to them in their lives, and having them to take a different look of maybe of some of the tragedies that has happened for them.
We'll look for that. Let's bring in William Clarence Marshall, who's an actor in Colored Boy Blues. Now, good to have you with us.
Thank you.
William Clarence Marshall. Tell me about your involvement now. All of this is going to be, what you're doing is going to be taking place at the East Cleveland Public Library.
Correct.
What's going to be happening there?
The production is, there are two productions, Saturday, August 17th, and then again September 21st at 4 o'clock, of course, at the Gregory L. Reese Theater, the East Cleveland Public Library. Colored Boy Blues is a coming-of-age story, 3 young black men and their warrior spiritual mother and their off-again, on-again incarcerated father, and this all takes place mid-'80s, right up to about 2000, based on a true story. And he finally comes out of jail only to be shot by the police, and that's where the story really begins. Wonderfully, even through all of that tragedy, there's an uptick, and all of the boys manage to come out not being swallowed, as it were, by the violence, the poison, and the gangs of the ghetto.
It ends up on an up note, ends up on a high note.
Definitely.
As your play ends up on a high note.
Yes.
Now, all of this is involved. The East Cleveland Public Library, the Greg Reese Performing Arts Center at the East Cleveland Public Library is involved in both.
Yes,
of
it
these.
is. We're going to be there also performing the gift on September the 7th at the East Cleveland Library, helping them to expand in their Performing Arts Center, and that's one of the goals that we're both going to be working to help them expand that Performing Arts Center, and that's the goal. That's the goal.
You brought some information with you. Maybe I can get a shot of this while we continue our discussion.
Right. So we're excited about that.
Are tickets available for this now?
Tickets are available at Playhouse Square for the gift, and the performance is the 29th and the 30th at the Playhouse Square, 241-6000, and we're sponsored by the Adams Board. We're excited about it. Everyone should see it. It's for everyone. It's for youth. It's for adults. And, you know, if you miss it at the Playhouse Square, please come to the East Cleveland Library to see it on September the 7th. You can call them for tickets at 541-4128.
Okay, and I'm going to talk to William Clarence Marshall. You're excited about what you're doing, too.
Oh, I definitely am. We did
what makes you excited about this story?
The fact that it's true. Unfortunately, it has a relevancy to the 137 shots. There's shadows of it.
That happened in East Cleveland.
Well, no, it didn't happen in East. Well, yes, that.
But it was involving Cleveland police.
Exactly.
We're still talking about it too.
This work was actually written in 2000, and it's only coming to light as of, it had a revision in 2012, and then when that happened. And I performed for the very first time at the African American Museum for about 100 people. I mean, they exploded in, the reaction was just so visceral, and said, my God, that seems like 137 shots. And that really wasn't the purpose. The purpose was to show how a family works through a crisis and how they stay together.
Once again, that's going to be Saturday, August the 17th, and Saturday, September the 21st at 4 o'clock, both of them, at the East Cleveland Public Library. We've got some phone numbers on the screen. Write these phone numbers down. You can get more information on everything we're talking about. Also, our website, newsnet5.com, you can go there and you can actually look at this broadcast again. We're going to put that on our website as well, so people can get all over the world can get a chance to look at it. But you're excited about it. You're excited about it. It is both theater, but it's all uplifting, and it is all to benefit the East Cleveland Public Library.
Yes, sir.
The Greg Reese Performing Arts Center there. Okay.
Thank
you so much. Delilah Bell Fowler, Executive Director of Miracle Spiritual Retreat, and William Clarence Marshall, actor, certainly going to be with Colored Boy Blues.
Thank you, Mr. Bibb.
All call me Leon. Everybody does.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
It is my pleasure.
Wonderful.
Taking a break right now. I'll be back. We'll talk about an Urban League program after this. Good to have you with us on Kaleidoscope. The Urban League of Greater Cleveland launched a new program on June the 3rd. Its Senior Counselor for Workforce Development, Yvette Clark, is here to talk about more about the program. SOAR, it is called, or Solid Opportunities for Advancement and Retention Program. Good to have you with us, Yvette.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me about the SOAR program, Solid Opportunities at Advancement and Retention.
Yes, it's modeled after a 15-year program that started in the Urban League at Greater Cincinnati. We went and got information, technical training on bringing the program. We started our first program on June 3rd.
This means regarding employment, regarding jobs.
Workforce development. We talk about personal and professional development. We work on helping the whole person from the inside out. Self-esteem,
Who can get in this program?
Anyone from 18 on up. Our first class that just graduated on yesterday were individuals ages 21 to 65.
What kind of subjects do you cover in this program?
Everything about self-esteem, self-development, self-worth, networking, job development, resume writing, interviewing techniques, the whole gamut. At the end of our program, our individuals should be prepared to go out and competitively compete to be in the workforce.
So you kind of teach people how to get that job and how to hold that job.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the goal, is to get a job and to stay in that job.
Right.
You know, or until you're ready to move to another job.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's been going well, very well for the students who've been taking this?
We had an amazing class. It surpassed all expectations, and individuals actually weren't able to complete the program because they became employed during the training. So it's a 3-week intense programming. Meets Monday through Thursday from 9 to 4 to mimic the workday.
So when you sign up for this program, come ready to do the work.
Come ready to do the work.
Just don't drop in every now and then.
It will not happen. As a matter of fact, attendance is mandatory, and you're only allowed to miss a half a day.
How do you get involved?
We call the Urban League and tell them you're ready to soar.
And is that all? That's all you got to do is to get in line for this?
Get in line, and I have to share with you that our July class is full. And we haven't even advertised yet. Imagine when they find out the great things that we're doing.
So somebody out there is going to be calling right now. They should call the Urban League and get in the next class.
Get in the next class.
Which will be the month after. You do this every month?
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's a phone number, 622-0999. That is the number to the Urban League program. Just ask for the SOAR. S-O-A-R.
That's right.
Information. What do you like about what happens for these young middle-aged old folks who take the course?
Yesterday, the word that was used over and over again was transformation. The transformation from the individuals who came in, they had identified themselves as mothers and unemployed and ex-offenders and veterans, and they came out empowered, educated, and ready to go to work.
Now, are you working with employers out there?
Absolutely.
So you've got the student over here.
That's right.
And the job over there. So you help
bring them together. We have employers waiting. As a matter of fact, employers came to visit the classes, and several individuals were hired from that class. And as a matter of fact, 3 of them are working today.
There's an application process you must go through?
Absolutely. So there's an orientation that we have on Fridays. Fridays at 10 o'clock, we offer an orientation that people have to sign up for and register. They learn about all the programming that we offer at the Urban League of Greater Cleveland. We find out if SOAR is a great fit for them or if there's another program, because, you know, we have an awesome entrepreneur center at our camp as well. So we find out where people are, meet them where we are, so take them where they need to go.
And the classes take place where?
At the Urban League of Greater Cleveland.
Which is at the corner of East 30th and Prospect Avenue.
2930 Prospect Avenue.
East 30th and Prospect Avenue. If you get to that intersection, it'll hit you right in the face.
Can't miss it.
You cannot miss it.
Cannot
if you
miss
miss
it.
that, then you're not looking well enough.
That's right.
And if people make the phone call to 622-0999, they can get more information on everything we're talking about, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's the name of the program. You're involved in this greatly. This touches your heart, doesn't it, Yvette Clark?
I am passionate with a purpose. I can't even believe they pay me for it, but I'm glad that they do. I actually started the job as a volunteer. I volunteered for 6 months, and then this opportunity became available for me, and it's right down my alley, helping empower people. I'm a trainer by nature, so it's up my alley.
Tell me, we got about 40 seconds remaining. Give me a little thumbnail sketch of the coursework, what the students can expect.
An individual signing up with this program can be prepared to work a full work day, as far as their appearance, as far as their interviewing skills, their resume writing, being properly prepared to interview and get on the job, what to do when they get on the job, how to keep the job, conflict management and resolution. So we want them to get it, keep it, and go to the next level.
Conflict and management resolution.
Absolutely.
Important, because
Absolutely.
we're always going to have difficulties on the job.
Absolutely.
I mean, you don't have to go far from here. Everybody, you'll have people have
everywhere
a debate,
you go.
But that doesn't mean get in a fist fight.
But don't wait.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. We want you to keep your employment opportunity.
And if you do this, you're not only building a job, but you are building a career.
Yeah.
We're going to continue our discussion with Yvette Clark. She's Senior Counselor with Workforce Development for the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, talking about the SOAR program, S-O-A-R program. I'm going to take a break. This is Kaleidoscope. Back in just a moment. This section we call the Morning Exchange segment of our program Kaleidoscope, and good to have you with us for the Morning Exchange segment as we continue our discussion with Yvette Clark of the Urban League of Greater Cleveland. You got another program going on too. Tell me about that one.
I am proud to tell you about the UYEP program. It's called Urban, Urban Youth Empowerment Program. That program is a juvenile diversion program for youth ages 14 to 18 that have been involved in the juvenile justice system in the past year. We offer things for the individuals, career assistance, education assistance, mentors. We help them with restorative justice projects and anti-violence projects. So we want to help them get reacclimated in the community and be better citizens.
Get on the straight and narrow and stay on the straight and narrow.
That's right.
Even though they've had a little problem with the law before.
The problems of the past does not define your future.
And this is for ages what?
14 to 18.
Okay, these are young, these are teenagers
These
we're
are
talking
teenagers.
about. Teenagers, just below the adult line, although 18 is an adult line, I suppose. You're excited about this program?
This is
making changes in lives?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. We just had our first group of graduates of our program. We had 4 graduate this June, and so we're excited about them going to college, making dramatic changes in their lives. This program is impacting lives and changing lives.
In our final 40 seconds, they see the change in themselves, those who go through the UYAP program, Urban Youth Empowerment Program?
Absolutely. It is a life-changing program that helps individuals realize that their past does not define their future.
And they can become strong men and women in our society.
Making strong contributions to our society.
That's all that we need to do is get them on the straight and narrow and stay on the straight and narrow.
That's right.
And we'll do okay. God bless you for what you do, Yvette Clark,
Thank
over
you very
at the
much.
Urban League. God bless all of you at the Urban League for what you do. They are making a difference in the community. Without the Urban League, I do not know where we would be as a society. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you for your support.
Love you all. I'm going to take it to the end of the broadcast. That's it for Yvette Clark, our good friend from the Urban League. I'm Leon Bibb. Good luck and be well. We'll talk again.
Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, Kaleidoscope Magazine, and News Channel 5.